Hey, 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 today we're going to talk about poultry. And it's going to be short, but a few important things about poultry that I think you need to learn. Um, Poultry includes chicken.
When you find yourself in danger, when you're threatened by a stranger, when it looks like you will take a licking, there is someone waiting who will hurry up and rescue you. Just call for Super Chicken. But if you're afraid, you'll have to overlook it. Besides, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. He will drink his super sauce and throw the bad guys for a loss, and he will bring them in alive and kicking. There is one thing you should learn when there is no one else to turn to. Call for Super Chicken. Call for Super Chicken.
All right, so poultry is in fact chicken, but oh, this is somebody claimed they found that in their KFC bucket of chicken. Uh, and of course, they sued. And I don't know if it's for real, if it was a hoax, or even if this picture is a hoax. I don't know. But anyway, it's a funny picture of a chicken head, fried chicken head. You can still eat it. It's probably pretty bony. This here is my hero, Mike, the headless chicken. And it was close to, I don't know, 80, 90 years ago. This farmer had a chicken and he was going to cut his head off and serve it for dinner. But his wife was especially fond of neck meat, which I like neck meat too. It's kind of hard to get to, but it's pretty good. Hard to get to because it's mostly bone. So anyway, the story goes, he was in Fruita, Colorado. They still celebrate Mike the Headless Chicken to this day. Anyway, in Fruita, Colorado, the farmer cut off the chicken's head, but he cut it off really sort of high, and you can see like the front part of his face is cut off, but the back part of his head wasn't. So anyway, somehow, in some freakish manner, the part of the chicken's brain that keeps it alive was intact. But the farmer didn't know that. He just cut off the head as high up as possible and waited for the chicken to die. Now, chickens, when you cut off their head, they flop around for a while and they bleed out and they're dead. I mean, they're dead immediately, but they look funny because their nerves go berserk and they flop around for a while. Well, this chicken didn't do that and it didn't die. So the farmer said, well, wait a minute, maybe we got something here. And so he kept this chicken alive like that for a very long time. I think it was a few years. He had a special way of feeding it with a medicine dropper in the chicken's throat, and the chicken survived like that. Of course, he couldn't see or smell, but he maintained alive. And the farmer took him to fairs and stuff and made a little money off Mike the Headless Chicken. And his home was in Fruita, Colorado. And if you go to Fruita, Colorado, they're still celebrating Headless Mike there to this day. As a matter of fact, they have a festival in the early summer or late spring, Headless Mike Day or something like that. So anyway, that's the story of Mike the Headless Chicken. You can you can Google him, Headless Mike from Fruita, Colorado. They did a big story on him in Life magazine, but you can find out about him if you want to Google Headless Mike or Mike the Headless Chicken. Okay, examples also include turkey. And there you can see a cooked turkey and a live turkey, a tom turkey. Also, duck is an example of poultry. There's my favorite duck on the left, my wife's favorite duck on the right. Duck, when it is cooked properly, can be really good. Goose is also an example of poultry. Cornish game hens. Now, I know you're thinking, what is a Cornish game hen? Well, it's a special kind of young chicken weighing no more than 2 pounds. And when you serve them, everybody gets their own game hen. So it's kind of fun, especially if you have young people, that everyone gets their own chicken, the full bird on their plate. And you can find them at Stater Brothers. They're usually frozen, but it is actually a type of chicken. It is technically a chicken, but it's a very small chicken. Ostrich is also considered poultry. Ostrich, I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but I think it's pretty tasty. It's pretty lean, which means it's low in fat. So it is, it can be dry, but it has a really good flavor. I like it a lot. And they make ground ostrich, and you can get ostrich steaks. Game birds such as pheasant, quail, and doves. Here's a pheasant, a really beautiful bird. California quail and doves. Okay, question number 1. What poultry is missing from this list? Chicken, turkey, blank, goose, Cornish game hens, ostrich, and game birds. Which one did I leave off? Okay, birds that fly like goose and duck have only dark meat. The dark color comes from the high concentration of blood vessels that supply oxygen-rich blood to those muscles. They are popular because all meat is dark. So when you have a duck or a goose, there's no light dark meat like there is in chicken and turkey, because these birds fly, and they use these muscles for flight, and they need a high concentration of blood vessels to supply energy energy and oxygen to those muscles. A chicken rarely flies, so he doesn't have the blood vessels. Or I think maybe it's backwards. I think because he doesn't have those blood vessels supplying the muscles for flight, then he doesn't fly. And chicken, the light meat is, well, we'll talk about that in just a second. Birds that don't fly like chicken and turkey have light meat because their muscles that aren't used for flight don't require the blood flow that dark meat does. Okay, so light meat is leaner. It tends to get dry more quickly because it's unused muscle, or relatively unused. It's not like it's never used. It's just not used as much. Chickens walk around, and so their leg muscles are dark meat, but they don't hardly ever fly. If you chase them with a baseball bat, they'll fly for a few feet, but they're not going to fly south for the winter or anything like that. Light meat chicken is wing and breast. So here we have a breast right here. That's the biggest, meatiest part of the chicken. But it's the leanest too. So if people are trying to avoid fat, a lot of times they'll eat this. If they pull off the skin, it's pretty lean. But it is definitely the meatiest part of the chicken. In the wing, you see the wing right there. And of course, if a chicken flew, he would depend greatly on the wing and the breast for flying. But because the chicken and the turkey don't fly, these meats tend to be white. They don't tend to be, they are white. Dark meat chicken, and this is true with the turkey as well, is the leg and the thigh. Here we see the leg, sometimes it's called the drumstick, often it's called the drumstick, and the thigh, which is really the upper leg. And this is what a chicken uses when he walks around and hunts for food. He uses these muscles. And these muscles are high in blood flow because the chicken uses those. Or the chicken uses those because they're high in blood flow. I don't know which is first, like the chicken or the egg. Well, I know chicken came before the egg, because it says in the Bible, in the beginning, God created the chickens and the earth. But that's another story. So here we see a wing and a drumstick. Why is that picture there? That's a good question. Let's move on past it. Okay, question number 2. Goose and duck are popular because all the meat is what? Question number 3. Light meat examples are the wing and the what? Question number 4. Dark meat consists of the thigh and what? Storage. All poultry except canned is very perishable. Canned is perishable too once the can is opened. So we have a whole chicken in a can, and we have chicken breast in a can, and it'll last for years in the can as long as the can is sealed. But once you open it, it too becomes perishable like a fresh chicken. What does perishable mean? Perishable means it goes bad if it's not refrigerated. Chicken tends to go bad quicker than red meat, than beef or pork. If you've ever put chicken bones in the trash, and 24 hours later you'll notice a very strong stink. That's because chicken is very susceptible to bacteria. It just is. All right, poultry should be cooked to 180 degrees or 170 for the breasts. This is an instant read thermometer that you stick in the chicken, and it gives you temperature instantly. It's not something you leave in the chicken when it goes in the oven, because it's plastic and it will melt. The cover is plastic. All right, question number 5. Which kind of meat is leaner? And that's it. Thank you very much.